Welcome to part two of Ace Your Jam. Thank you for staying tuned. Enjoy.
Much. And now we are going to invite the speaker, that is Mr. Omotosho John. So, like I said earlier, it's showtime. Get your writing pads, move away from distractions, and listen attentively. So, everybody, let's make welcome our guest speaker, Mr. Omotosho John. Thank you very much. Thank you. I can see
Yeah, good
reaction.
evening.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. I believe you can hear me clearly. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for coming on board this evening. I'm surprised to see a number of us, and I'm excited to share with us this evening. I know that many of us are hungry and want to hear. That's why we are here. So we'll not waste your time. You can be sure that this is going to be a very good investment of your time. But I don't think I can share my screen if I think our host has to permit me to share the screen. So please permit me to share my screen so that you can see my slides and possibly follow through what I'm saying. So basically, my focus for this evening is to talk about excellence, smart preparation, and how to overcome pressure. Excellence, smart preparation, and how to overcome pressure. So that's like my focus for this evening. Okay, let me try to share. Excellence, smart preparation, and how to overcome academic pressure so as to succeed. For me, let me introduce myself. My name is John Olayin Motosho. Like I was introduced earlier, I finished from Obafemi Awolowo University, computer engineering, first class, and I gained admission in year 2018 or 2017. Gained admission 2017. I resumed to school 2018. I wrote my JAMB once, and I wrote my WAEC once. And from where I come from, it looks as though a number of persons have to write JAMB a number of times, like not once, like not twice, like that. So it has been pretty recurrent, like that. So, so I was coming into that kind of environment, that kind of setting. So it means that I have to do something. I have to do something different because it has been such that is that okay, go to polytechnic first, that kind of
Please
thing.
stay where I can
Most
listen to
times people
volume.
write jam twice, three times. People in my neighborhood I wrote jam. There were many examples around. But I was still able in that atmosphere to write my jam once. I wrote my WAEC once. I think I wrote NECO too once, but I used only my WAEC result. It was sufficient to get me admission into Bafemi Awolowo University. And I know, like, some of us can attest to the fact that OAU can be pretty difficult to get into. Not pretty, very difficult for a number of persons to get into. I mean, I know people that tried for like three, four, five times because they wanted OAU. They kept trying and trying and trying, and OAU kept
Welcome to you.
disappointing them every time they tried. So,
Bluetooth.
um,
Want to
but
collect
I
that?
tried once, and I'm going to share some of the things that helped me. So again, I also came from I was born into amidst professors and all of that. I know people around that had actually struggled with jam, and but I was able to scale through. I'm going to share the things that helped me to write jam once, write WAEC once, and gain admission, and ultimately graduate with the first class as the last year in December. All right, so I hope you can see my screen. So, what is excellence? All right, what is excellence? Like the moderator shared, our facilitator shared, I'm
Daddy
going to
said that
do the
his,
appropriate
his volume is loud.
appreciation at the end. So, what is excellence? So, I want to talk about excellence first of all. What is excellence? You most likely already know that I'm someone who believes strongly in God. I served as a pastor for 2 years and 9 months on campus. I've been serving before then. I served in different capacities before I served as a pastor. So you must understand that I really, really, take God seriously, like very, very seriously. So for me, excellence is actually that there's this passage that says, "Whatsoever thy hands finds to do, do it with all your might." And for me, that's the foundation of excellence. All right. Whatsoever your hands finds to do, do with all your might. So it means that at this stage for you as a student who is planning to gain admission to the university, what your hand finds to do is your studies, your books, right? Your math, your chemistry, your CRS, and you must do it with all your might. You must put in all of your energy. It's not something that you when I feel like reading, I will read. No, no, that's not the time to do that. Like for me now, I can read when I want to read. But when I was aiming for my admission, I was doing it with all my might. I was not doing it like there's no option whatsoever. My hands finds to do it with all your might. So that's the foundation of excellence. So excellence simply means doing your best, right? Putting in all of your energy. It's not just about comparing yourself with others. For me, even twins, they are actually not the same. You can have Taiwan Kendi. They are not the same. They may look alike. You may almost mistake one for the other. But at the end of the day, they have different minds. They are different persons. So excellence is not just about you don't compare yourself with somebody. Oh, am I better than that person? No, it's about you. Like focus on yourself. Don't. I know people that when they release our results those days, they will not check their own results. They will check my own first. It's like that comparison. I don't really mind those things. Just let me do what I'm doing. So I'm not comparing myself. I'm not trying to be better than one person or something. I'm putting my effort into becoming a better version of myself, not trying to become better than someone else. That's not what I'm doing. So excellence actually means doing your best. Whatever your hands find to do it with all your might, do it with all your strength. So it's not just about comparing yourself with others, it's about giving your best into whatsoever you are doing. So at this moment, like I said, it's your academics, it's your preparation for JAMB, that is something that you should put all your energy, put your best, give it your best. And when you aim for excellence, you refuse to settle for average. When you aim for excellence, actually you are refusing to settle for average. And so then that takes me to the next thing. Now, with divine excellence, now there's a particular thing that is very important when it comes to excellence is your mindset, right? It's your mindset. And I said here that your mindset can be like a lens, all right? It can be like a lens. For those of us that did physics, there's a convex lens and there's a concave lens. And actually, for those of us that didn't do physics, there's a magnifying lens and there's a minifying lens. That is, there's a lens that you can look through and you see things bigger, all right? And there's a lens that you can look through and you see things appearing smaller. So your mindset can be like a lens that will look through your life, that you use to see your life. So if you are looking at your life through a magnifying lens, it means that you are looking at a lot of opportunities. That I can do this. This is possible. This is I'm more than enough. I'm not the kind of person because I saw some of us are. I want in your jam. Nobody told me. Nobody said below 300. That's you looking at yourself through a magnifying lens. You're not looking at yourself through a magnifying. I can still have maybe 200, or I can still have maybe 210. All right. I'll be fine. That's not what. So I believe that some of you here, your mindset is set. Like you have a mindset that is looking at yourself through a magnifying lens. You're not looking at yourself through. I can still have 200 or maybe 180. Let me try to get it to a polytechnic or something. So I really like your mindset. So if you want to excel, your mindset must be right, and that's the next slide. So you must, if you believe you can't pass jam, actually you won't. Right? You most likely will not. If you believe you can't pass, I doubt it. I doubt. It's highly unlikely that you're actually going to pass. Right? So the first thing is that you must get your mindset right. You must
Because
first
this thing know we are
put your
talking.
mind right. You must set your mind on the right things.
This
That
can listen
it is
to us.
possible to pass them. It
I'm
is possible
serious.
to excel.
But
It
are
is
you
possible to
talking?
do well. So I think that's one of the things that you should know even as you journey. So a positive
Instead
mindset. So
without
when you
doing
have the right
what we
mindset,
are talking.
when you believe that you can succeed, that
No.
God is helping you and that it's possible, that way naturally you'll be more confident. Now, there's this thing that helped me while I was on, particularly when I was on campus, is this thing that when people say, that course is hard, that course is difficult, most of the time I say, if it's hard for others, it will not be hard for me, right? If others fail with it, me, I will not fail it. There's that mind, it's called a positive mindset.
God
It's not because
knows.
I've done
Okay.
that course before. It's not because I've done it before. Some of you have not even, I was in GSS3. Then my dad's friend actually came to our house. He came to our house and was telling us that, I was still in GS3 then. When you're in GS3, you're planning to go to SS1. So you're thinking of going to maybe science class, art class, or commercial class. Like that was the division in my school. So he came and he said, "Ah, John, have you heard about further mathematics?" I was like, "Ah, I've not heard about it. What's it about?" Ah, I said, "That course is very hard. That subject is very hard. People usually take it." Even my son said, "Ah, he said it's very hard. It's very difficult." You know what I said in my mind? I didn't tell him that because further math is hard, that's why I will pass it. Like, because it is hard, oh, that's why me I will pass it. Because it is hard, that's why I'm going to put in more energy and I'm going to succeed in it. And I tell you, about 7 persons wrote for the mathematics in my school there. I think about 7 of us out of about 60 or thereabouts. 60 that were offering for the math. Only 7 wrote. I was one of them. I had an A1 in further mathematics. So I'm saying that if you have the right mindset, I could have said, "Oh, further math is hard. So don't let me do anything. Let me just run away from further math." And that's what some people do. It's hard, it's hard, it's hard. So they run away. And you to keep chasing them and chasing them and chasing them. For instance, now, some of our people, I mean, Sister Favor can attest to that. She did chemistry, but you feel like, okay, you're doing chemistry, you will not do math. But at the end of the day, you get to chemistry, you see math. You get to physics, you see math. I mean, almost everywhere you look in sciences, you're going to see math there. So I think, for first of all, as a student, you don't have a limiting mindset. Don't look at your life through a magnifying glass. Look at your life through a magnifying glass. Believe that it is possible. If someone has done it before, believe that it is possible for you to do it. Do you get that? Are we following me? Are we following me? How am I not speaking into the air?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We
Are we
can hear
following me? I
you.
want to.
Absolutely,
All
sir.
right, all right. Thank you very much. All right, thank you very much. Right. So you must have a positive mindset. So how do I maintain a positive mindset even when I'm not fully prepared? All right. How do you maintain a positive mindset? Because I just told you to maintain a positive mindset. I think JAMB is about 2 weeks thereabout. So how do I maintain a positive mindset? I'm not fully prepared. Some of us are I mean 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, someone is 6.5 out of 10. So how do you actually maintain a positive mindset when you're not fully prepared? The first thing is, don't panic. All right, don't panic. All right. I'm going to share some of the things that you need to do with you. Um, but first of all, don't panic. Just protect your mind. Still have a positive mindset. Believe that you can excel. But there's this example that I like using, and I think I was in close to my final year on campus, and there was this particular course that I think 1,000 pages. The textbook is 1,000 pages. So I think there was strike that time. There was strike on OU campus. So our lecturers were not coming to classes, all of those things. So it was difficult to follow the course. So but then we were doing online classes. So when you're doing online classes, you're not taking things seriously. You think life is easy, life is easy. Then it was, I mean, at the end of the semester, that our lecturer reminded us that textbook that I gave you at the beginning of the semester, that 1,000 page textbook, that is where I'm going to test you. And your exams are going to come from there. I'm going to test you from the beginning to the end so you can be sure that I'm going to test you properly. And people started panicking. Hey, where do I start from? Hey, what do I do? Oh, what do I do? And I tell you, I mean, people, of course, had issues with the course. Of course, they had issues with the course. But I had an A in that course. Why? I didn't panic. I mean, whether it's 1,000 pages, I don't care. Whether it's not because I think you must know that it's not because I think I should maybe clarify that. Not because I was maybe the best student in my secondary school then. I was not. I never. I mean, there was a year when I was in GS3 that I was GSS1 actually. From GSS1 through to GSS3, there was a lady that was always collecting all the prizes. I didn't get one prize like this all through my stay in secondary school. Like that. So as to feel that I'm not like a genius. Not like this guy is very, very brilliant, or he's the most brilliant person on the planet. Not actually, not exactly, right? So it's not that, this guy is very, very brilliant. Because and that's why he's saying that. I'm saying that even although it was 1,000 pages, I did not allow the fact that I'm not fully prepared to affect my positive mindset. I did not panic. And what did I do? I took my notes, I took my textbook, I went to read, and I tried as much as possible to cover the 1,000 pages within that period, and I had a 76 out of 100 in the exam. So I'm saying that don't panic, protect your mind, still have a positive mindset. The second thing is choose hope over fear. Believe that you can do it. Believe that you can do it. And the next is focus on what you can still cover. I'm going to share with you how you can actually navigate your way as you're preparing. Exams are drawing very, very close. Focus on what you can still cover. Now, when you are living in fear, or when you are panicking, it will be difficult to even understand what you are reading. I mean, if you've ever been, I mean, maybe for instance, most of you have written exams before. Have you tried to read maybe 30 minutes to the exam? You are trying to read two lines of definition,
like four
you see
people.
that it will be difficult to, assimilate it because you are under pressure, you are panicking.
It's just
So it will be
that
difficult to assimilate, it will be difficult to comprehend if you are under pressure. So calm down, have a positive mindset, all right? Have a positive mindset. Even when you are not fully prepared,
right.
maintain a positive mindset. Now, I want to talk about smart preparation. So I think this is the point where you need to really to get your pen and your notepad, very close. What is the most effective way to study
I
now
think
that your exam is just 2 weeks away? What's the most effective way to study? I think the first thing that you must know is that you should solve past questions. In case you don't have one, I believe most persons have the JAMB series. You should get the JAMB series. Try to get the JAMB series if you don't have one already. And what you want to do is solve at least 6 years to the back. So we're into year 2024, 5. The last JAMB was in 2024. So you want to solve from 2018 to 2024. You must solve past questions. Like solve them. And when you solve past questions, people do something. There's something we used to do then. We used to cram the answer of the past question. That's also what you're doing. You're not solving past questions so as to cram the answer. No. You're solving past questions so as to understand the topics. So that's the next point.
for God,
Most
yeah,
topics are very consistent. So for instance, for physics now, maybe in the year 2024, 2023, 2022, 2021, 2020, so that equilibrium was always coming out. Equilibrium, at least two, three questions on that equilibrium, at least two, three questions on that equilibrium.
that's
Those topics, that particular
about
topic, you know it very well, right? You
my
just know the answer. There are people who, I'm solving past question. They are always checking the back. Oh, what's the answer? What's the answer? Oh, I need to solve this one. No, that's how it works. Once you know that, first thing is solve past question. You know the questions that you're actually solving.
I've already
To
answered.
cram you can't cram answers with them. The question will not be exactly the same. Of course, I'll soon get there. Sometimes JAM asks the same question, but not every time. They could restructure the question. So I'm saying that solve past questions. And when you are solving past questions, you are not cramming answers. You want to note the topics that are consistent. I'll just give you physics as an example. Maybe in mathematics, you notice that sets, they always ask sets. Maybe you saw 2023, 2024, 2021, they always ask questions around sets. At least maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 questions. Try to master set. At least there will be a circumference at least where do they always ask their questions from on that set. Master that very well. Know it very well. Maybe essential biology or is it biology textbooks they use for math now? Maybe except maths and all of that. You start reading everything. No. Look at the aspects that they actually do focus on most times in JAMB. Because JAMB has a structure, and most of the time they follow that structure. Right? They usually follow that structure. They have these are the standard and JAMB. So you can't exactly say, oh, the only thing I'll be reading for JAMB because what
So how
you
will I
affect
stop
most
this
persons is
call
so that they
now?
did not read. So that they did not read. Most persons are actually reading but they are not, their mind is not prepared to solve JAM questions. And that's what questions will prepare you to do.
Not bother
You can
about
read elementary biology from
my
today,
phone.
social biology from today to next year, and may not be prepared to answer a JAM-like question. So you have to see what it looks like. It looks like how does JAM set questions? And that's what your past question will do for you. This is the way JAM sets questions. So when you are reading, your mind will be structured in that way. You be
I
able to
will look you.
answer questions when you see them. So the first thing is solve past questions at
Sarah,
least 6 years and
I
note
look
the
you there.
topics that are
Why you
consistent.
not
So
joining
in
the
chemistry, this topic I'm not really a fan of chemistry. I've been doing maths
you
all this
know
while.
that's
So
not what
maybe
so yeah, that's
is
not
it
that's
hydrocarbons? Did you do hydrocarbons, organic chemistry? So maybe it's organic chemistry that comes out every
you
year,
know what?
that kind of
Copy
thing.
the link.
You must take
Copy
note
the
of
link
it
and paste
and
it
know
to your
it very well.
browser.
And of course, ask questions. No one's an island of knowledge.
Copy
It's
this, you
in the
can paste it
that
on
you can't know everything, even
browser.
if you're a
And
genius, you
then when
cannot know
you're doing
everything.
that, put
You
your
need to
phone on
ask questions.
desktop
Talk
view.
to your friends.
Desktop
Talk
view.
to people that are maybe going ahead of you. Ask them
Do
questions.
you
Oh,
get
this
that?
particular
And
thing I was solving it.
never
I did not get it. You've tried and tried and tried and tried. Please, can you help me out? This is not the time to try to do everything on your own and do everything on your own. Ask questions.
right
And
way.
the next
If
one
I
is
don't access
time yourself.
your
Someone actually
set
mentioned, I think a number of us
desktop
mentioned time
browser
yourself.
and copy the
And I think I'll try to stay on that limit. Now, one of the ways to actually master time management is to actually time yourself. You can't. There's no one that it doesn't come from heaven. You don't bring it from heaven. It's in this case that
can
you
you
train yourself.
can you hang
So
up
when it comes to time management, you have to
or
train
you
yourself.
want to
Maybe
can you
Jam
hang
will give
the
you,
call
I
or
don't
you
know how
want
many
to
hours it will give you.
what's it called
Maybe they
now?
will give you
You want to join first
30
before you
minutes for each question.
end this call.
And you have to start training yourself to be able to use 20 minutes for each question. Because I mean, for someone who is, because you're under exam pressure, exam condition, all of that, so you have to put yourself under that kind of pressure.
On your
You
browser.
I'm
On
going
your
to do
browser.
40 questions under
And it's not
20
going.
minutes. I'm going to put myself, I want to time myself, I
It's
want
not
to put
going.
myself under that kind of
You
exam
change
pressure.
it to
So you're going
desktop.
to do that
So you
again
get
and again. So don't just solve questions, right? You're solving questions and you're timing yourself. So you're killing two birds in one stone. You're not just solve questions, let me solve questions. Sometimes you solve a question for almost 100, I mean, almost 10 minutes, 20 minutes. You know that you can't do that in JAMB, right?
Can you
You
hear
need to
me?
keep moving. You need to move as fast as possible.
Click on that three
So
buttons.
you need to put yourself under that
Click
kind
on
of
that
exam
three
pressure.
buttons.
So time yourself now. Put yourself under exam pressure. So those are the four things I think would really, really help you. The first is solve past questions. 6 years, right? Minimum
If you click on the three buttons
6 years is
of
enough,
Chrome,
right? Note topics that are consistent. If you could leave one that is very consistent, note it down.
if you
Note
enter
it.
Chrome,
Then
there's the three
try
dots
to understand that topic
the right hand.
well, right?
Have you seen
Look
it?
at the way that jams question. Look at the fruitful questions. No, you know, there's always one will ask you a question. Maybe because you are coming from a different school and each person going to their own school, their teachers have different way of asking questions and all of that. But you know, JAMB as a structure, you have their own structure. And if you can pay attention
If
to
you
the past
enter
questions, you should be able
there's
to
the
connect the dots
three
and
buttons
know
at the
where
topmost
the
part
questions and know the
and
way
the
the question
topmost part
sounds
at the right
and
hand
possibly
side.
know where the question is going to come from.
Click
So
on.
and
Have
ask
you seen
questions from
it?
people. If you're not getting it, don't stay there. You know, go
Yeah.
over it
Click on
again and again. And most likely there's somebody that has an answer
scroll
to
down.
what you're going
Scroll down.
through.
You
So
will
you
see
should
the
ask questions.
desktop
The next one is
side.
time yourself. Have a timer. Or you could do it in groups
Then
too. Yes, I think that also helps.
search
You have
button.
maybe
Go
your
to the
friend,
search
2
button.
of you,
After
3
you
of
want
you,
to search
just
for
come together, time yourself. Okay, I'm going to answer this question under
paste
20
the
minutes,
link
right? And
and
you
press
keep each other
enter.
accountable. So that when it's now 20 minutes, you not say, let me continue. So, no, time yourself. Once you are
Tell
done,
me what to
exchange your
say.
papers, mark it. And, oh, what did I get? Oh, I got 10, I got 20. Okay, I can do better. I can improve. So I think that way it helps you to be time conscious and you get better and prepared. So how do I overcome burnout and maintain balance in all? So actually, when I was actually a
Let me go
student,
back.
I mean, I'm still a student, but when I was a student in campus, all right, there's this thing that people feel like resting is a crime. That if you are resting, you are lazy. You must be very, very lazy. For me, I used to sleep. Oh my, I sleep well. I don't. I of course not like I sleep all the time, but when it's time to sleep, I sleep. I sleep at least 6 hours every day. All right, at least. But then sometimes when the exam is very near, maybe like now, maybe you have jam now, you have jam. I may not be able to sleep up to 6 hours, but at least for most times I sleep at least 6 hours. And I tell you, sleeping or resting doesn't mean you're lazy. All right, doesn't mean you're lazy. Of course, you must be disciplined, and I'm going to get there very soon. But don't overstress yourself. You don't want a situation whereby you're treating malaria and you're going for jam. You don't want that kind of situation. You don't want a situation whereby, she's treating malaria at the moment. No, that's not what you want. You want to be healthy when you're going for jam. So make sure you're resting. Resting doesn't mean that you're weak, doesn't mean you're lazy, right? Doesn't mean that Tola is not serious. No, right? Please make sure you're resting. When it's time to rest. When it's time to study. And of course, when we say balance doesn't mean you're only reading alone. You're also praying, right? Because now I think I was talking to my friends, and there are some people they know the answers, they know everything. It's that time that their system will go off. All right, it's that time that the network will not be good. It's that time that something funny will shall happen. That's why, as a believer or as someone who believes in God, you should pray for that divine balance. You're not reading alone. Please pray. Eat well too. Don't starve yourself. Oh, I'm not eating today. I think the food actually helps. If you can, it helps you when you're studying. Yeah, as for me now, if I'm fasting, it's hard for me to comprehend what I'm doing. So most of the times when I'm writing exams, I try to introduce my fasting so that I can be able to comprehend well when I'm studying. So I think you should eat well while you're also preparing for your exams. All right. And it's not like you should not be eating anyhow because if you eat too much, you know that you may not be able to stay awake at night. So it's not that. So this is not the time to be eating at night, all right? This is the time to be eating at night. This is the time to eat light food. You know, when my pastor, which the doctor taught us, he said that if you eat heavy food at night, it will block blood flow to your brain. So I mean your stomach will be doing your digestion, so you will not be, your brain will not get enough blood. That's why you find it hard to stay awake at night. So when you want to before you, when you want to, you know you want to read at night, make sure that you at least eat something light. Don't eat something too heavy. Don't eat about eat this. Just eat something very light. Maybe take a biscuit or something, then eat eat that, then go and study. Once you're done studying, maybe you finish studying around 1, 2, 3, you could sleep. Then in the morning, something nice as breakfast. But you want to read at night, you want to read overnight, you are eating about, it won't work. Right. So make sure you're sleeping and encourage yourself. Encourage yourself. There are things that you can say to yourself, and I'm going to get to that very soon. There was no time limit. So don't do too much without rest. And also talk to someone. Talk to someone that I don't know. These days, young persons are, they are processing a lot in their mind, and they are not talking. They are not speaking to people. Please speak to them. There will somebody that wants to listen. Of course, don't speak to just anybody. The people who really love you, your parents love you. They want you to do well. So please talk to them. Don't keep things to yourself. They are going through something. Please talk to someone, and don't do it alone. Have friends that you can talk. Like I said, talk to your parents. Really, handling fear, pressure, and discouragement. Handling fear, pressure, and discouragement. How do I overcome fear and anxiety? My pastor defines fear as forget everything and run. Forget God. Forget God's promises. Forget the things you've read. Forget, that's what fear is. So you can't actually allow fear. You can't forget everything and run. You are not. You should not do that to yourself. Some of people have read. Sometimes you ask people, well, that exam, maybe you just finished an exam. Have you gotten out of the exam hall before? And they give you the answer. I mean, your question paper. You say, I don't even know. And I think about because of fear, people don't they may not even answer the question well, right? Because they were afraid, they were anxious. To actually be difficult sometimes to answer the questions well. So please, don't allow fear. There's something that you should do instead of fear, which is to have faith. Replace fear with faith. Replace fear with faith. Fear says 2 million people failed last year. What if I'm one of them? That's fear. Fear, that's what fear is saying. I mean, they said every freelance year. If I'm part of them this year. That's fear speaking to you. Faith says some people passed last year, and my name will be among those who succeed this year. That is faith speaking. You don't say, they failed last year. Who told me that I'm better than them? No, that's not how to think as someone who wants to excel. You should speak in faith. Oh, some people passed last year. It's true. And my name will be among those who will succeed this year. That's the way I see things. And it really helped me, right? It really, really helped me. Like she said, finishing it with the first class, best graduating student, is not it's not magic, right? There were things that I did deliberately that, you tell me that, this course, the highest score last year was a B. Nobody had A that last year. In my mind, I would say, if someone can have a B, it means that it's even possible to have more than a B. So me, John, I will have an A in this course. And most of the time, I tell you, I usually have A's, correct? I usually have A's. So I'm saying that you should replace fear with faith. Fear means fear, I mean, leave everything and run. Forget everything and run. So don't forget everything. Instead, focus, right? And have faith. How do I reframe? I think it was sometimes we don't know how to shoot, we don't know how to stop, and he will call us and he will be abusing us. Oh my. He said it hates me so much. They actually want you to be disciplined. Sometimes it will be difficult. Sometimes they will say no TV. What did I do? I wrote my timetable. Nobody was actually forcing me to do anything. So if you show your parents that you are actually learn that. So please trust in on your own understanding. Please trust in God. Trust in God. Put God. I mean